What's up guys, I'm Akim. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with James Hollingshead and his latest off-season physique update. So 300 mark has been officially crossed and his coach Stefan is extremely happy with the progress that James has been able to make since this year's Arnold tour, because that is when both these guys started working together. So James was doing his own thing for this year's Arnold Classic Ohio as well as for Arnold UK. So he worked with Milos up until 2 weeks out of the show for the Arnold Ohio. And then he tried to pick himself for that show. And honestly, he did one hell of a job. And that is why he was able to place 5th in that show. But regardless of how good he peaks for the show, we all know he needs more muscle in order to be even in the second call out at the Olympia level. So the top 6 at the Olympia has been James's goal. But as of right now, that seems a little too unrealistic. But coming back to his update, the conditioning that he has at 300 pounds right now, that looks absolutely insane. The thickness and the density is on another level, but I have to say he definitely needs better abs and more rounder shoulders. I guess not having those round delts, that is James's biggest weakness, because he looks narrow on the stage, and also his V-taper isn't as good as some of the other top guys. And even though he does push quite a lot of weight in terms of his lifts, and that just goes to show us that it is a genetic weakness, and also shows us the importance of genetics, especially on the highest level. So James said that he won't be stepping on any bodybuilding stage until he is very confident that he has put on enough muscle. So the comeback most probably will be next year. So do let me know what you guys think. Can James ever crack top 8 at the Olympia level? So Akim Williams is so underrated when it comes to that freak factor that he brings to the stage. He's certainly also so underrated when we talk about the guys with the best arms in the business, not just in the men's open, across all the bodybuilding for that matter. Just look how thin his skin looks at 8.5 weeks out. And Akim is one of those guys who takes his time getting ready for his show. He isn't one of those guys who is ready weeks out. So Chris Aceto has 2 clients in the men's open bodybuilding right now, Andrew Jack and Akim Williams, and we saw the best of both in 2024. So Akim is super dangerous if he comes in absolutely shredded. He can certainly finish in the top 10, maybe even higher than that, if he can bring that next level of conditioning. So Akim was able to beat a great version of John De Rosa at this year's Arnold UK, although John was able to place ahead of Akim Williams at the Arnold Ohio, which was very clear at the finals of that show that Akim at his best, he's gonna beat him without any shadow of a doubt. And John was just able to beat Muhammad Fadha at this year's Tampa Pro, and that too quite convincingly. So if guys like Muhammad Fadha and John De Rosa, they are being considered the potential top 10 finishers, then why not Akim as well? He's bigger than both these guys. He's arguably more muscular than a lot of the guys, even in those top 7 spots. So all Akim needs to do is to bring that conditioning, come and shred it on the show day. And so far, based on the updates, he is right on the money. Rubiel Mosquera aka Nixela, he was spotted training hard and heavy with his current coach, Francisco Espin. So that vague statement that Rubiel might not do Italy Pro this year, that was made by Chris Cormier, who hasn't been in contact with Rubiel since Dubai Pro this year. So the words of Rubiel and his current coach matters the most. So everyone appreciated the size that Rubiel brought to this year's Dubai Pro stage. I mean, we can all agree he is the biggest freak of them all. But his conditioning at Prague last year, which was his pro debut, that was better compared to what we saw in Dubai. So whether it was sodium and water or whatever it was, the judges judge what's in front of them. And that night Rubiel wasn't worthy of the top 3. But the thing is, he wasn't in a bad condition altogether. In fact, in some videos, he looked awesome. So with another 4 weeks of dieting, he can definitely get a lot more sharper. So even if Rubiel doesn't win in Italy against Hunter Lebrado, which is most probably gonna be the case, so the chances of him qualifying for this year's Miss Olympia, they won't be done just yet, because UK Pro is scheduled just 1 week after Italy, and all the big names, they are done with their Olympia qualification. So that is a perfect opportunity for Rubiel, and he can really cash that in. So in time, he is gonna be good enough to challenge some of the biggest guys in the sport, as he gets more dense, more mature, and possibly get more separation in his quads, and maybe have more detail all over. But right now, he can play very smart, and can still get to Mr. Olympia stage. Next up is the physique update of Justin Badrina, the well-deserved winner of this year's Tampa Pro Classic Physique division. So this guy made a huge noise because people saw some similarities between him and the reigning champion, Chris Bumstead. So this is gonna be his Olympia debut. and you only get one chance to leave a solid impact at your Olympia debut. And after having a week of letting off the gas, post-show, he's back on the plan, right, to bring an even better shape in 8.5 weeks' time. So the man also has a very marketable look, and that isn't based on just his looks. The way he showed up at this year's Tampa Pro, some of his shots, like the front lat spread, that looked extremely impressive. So Brazilian fans had Gabriel winning Tampa Pro. But the thing is, it wasn't even close, especially in the scorecards. And he was able to beat 3 former Olympians. And that just goes to show us the immense talent that is coming up in classic physique every single year. We have been seeing this happening for so many years now. Someone new comes along, and they totally shock the entire bodybuilding community with their insane talent. So the question right now is that, is he gonna be a threat to those top 6 spots this year? We have Chris Bumstead, Ramon Dino, Fazi Wiesers, Urs Klaczynski, Terence Ruffin. That is a solid top 6 right there. And it is highly unlikely any one of these guys is gonna miss their mark, especially for this year's Miss Olympia. So top 6 is gonna be kinda tough. Plus we have so many great big names for that single 7th spot this year. So top 6 in your first year, that is gonna be kinda difficult. But just by looking at the amount of improvements Justin has been able to make from 2023 to 2024, I have to say he has got a very bright future ahead in classic physique. New level, says your reigning Miss Olympia Derek Lunsford this year. So after watching his latest leg workout, the intensity, the focus, that is over the roof this time, even when we are this close to the show.
This year is going to be different. I'm telling you, whole new level. Whole new level.
So a few people said that Derek doesn't reign as the winning Miss Olympia after we saw that Battle of the Olympia video. Well, I have to say people should take a look at his latest workout to have a different perspective. So the man is pushing weights that he has never pushed before. And that is also really evident on the physique that we saw today. So he is 9 weeks out of this year's Miss Olympia, and in the middle of that crazy leg workout, when his legs are filled with so much blood, and he still has that crazy amount of separation. Plus, that quad sweep, that looks absolutely massive right now. And that is only gonna enhance his V-taper even more than it already was. It is gonna accentuate that even more. So with the greatest back on the planet right now, and arguably the best X-frame out there, Derek is in the driving seat for sure. I mean, the man has way too many strengths in comparison to his weaknesses. And I do agree Derek needs to level up, and not only just for Hadi Chupan, but for all the other top 5 guys as well. Because everyone is upping their game, and the margin of error is almost zero. So this is gonna be the Olympia to remember for ages. And Derek of course is aiming to stay at the very top. So he isn't stating a certain number of titles that he wants to win at the end, but it's one at a time. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.